What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drums Nation. What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are back with Superman and Lois Season 4. I'm going to do this a little bit differently because I did not get a chance to record my review for Episode 6 last week, which was an absolute banger. I mean, a fight between Lex Luthor and Clark showed him, even without powers, I can still take you. Lex thought he was doing something with the red solar radiation lights. He thought he was doing something. He thought he was cooking. He thought Milton Fine was gonna, like turn the tide in his favor, if I could say it like that. But we saw no, it did not work out that well for you. It did not work out that well for you at all. And in that episode, we also have Jordan realize that he has to get back in the fold. He can't just sit by idly on the sidelines. We see what happens. We also say goodbye to Sarah in episode 6. She's gonna go study abroad. We see Jordan trying to get a job, and it kind of harkened back to the Smallville episode when Clark was trying to get a job at the Talon with Lana, and Sarah told Jordan basically the same, along the lines of the same thing that her other Earth mother, Lana on Smallville, told Clark. Like Sarah's like, if I had your abilities, I wouldn't be trying to stay here. And I get that because we know soon as Jonathan got his powers, Jordan's like, I need to take a back seat. I need to get my head on straight. We know he was having those problems with Lois in the first couple of episodes because of what Lex showed him with the recorded phone call and all of that stuff. So he was trying to figure himself out. And it looks like he's right back on track. They even flew Sarah to, just to go see Greece. And I thought that was a little fun aspect for that episode. But basically, Lana challenged Lex, and unfortunately, she did suffer the consequences. She's okay. She's not dead. But if Otis had his way, yeah, I mean, Otis snuck into her house, turned on the gas on her stove, and lit it. Yeah, he was going to blow her and Sarah sky high. Luckily, Lana smelled the smoke. Well, smelled the gas, I should say. She woke up. She got downstairs in time to turn it up, and that's when Otis attacked her. She fought him off as good as she could, but then that's when Sarah came in. Sarah knocked him with the bat. Thank God Kyle makes them keep bats under their beds. Yeah, so that was cool to see, and that's what basically sealed the deal. Lana's like, yeah, you should go. You shouldn't just be stuck here. You should go, especially with all that's going on right now. And that's how we say goodbye to Sarah. We know all of these characters will be in the finale. They will be in the finale. So it's not a permanent goodbye. We get to say goodbye to her when we say goodbye to the entire show as a whole. And I was really happy to see that. But we finished that episode off with one of the greatest scenes in Superman history. Lex thought he was going to mop the floor with Clark. He underestimated him. He underestimated Clark. And, well, he paid the price for it. When Clark busted Luthor's nose, I laughed out loud because I'm like, that's what you get. I have to say, Michael Cudlitz is killing it this season. And before we jump into episode 7, the scene in the bar where, Lana's with the lady, I'm drawing a blank on her name. Please forgive me. Lana's in the bar with the lady who is basically going to sell her land to Luthor. Lana convinces her not to because nothing is set in stone yet. Convinces her like that it wouldn't be a good thing. So they go meet with Amanda and the other lawyers, and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm backing out of the deal, yada, yada, yada. Lex walks in. Clark also walks in, but Lex walks in, and he's like, I'll give you $10 million to sell your farm. I'll give it to everybody else in this bar as well. But she stands her ground. And you can tell Lex is visibly pissed off. But, he doesn't want to paint himself as the bad guy. Lex always has everybody else do his dirty work for him so he can try to keep his hands clean. You're a nut. But yeah. But before we even got that far, we see when they go visit her on the farm, she is hinting at the fact that she knows Clark is Superman. Clark, trying to keep that secret hidden to himself, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Even when Clark is out at the store and he's buying hair dye, Denise is like looking at him, but trying not trying not to look at him, and it's freaking hilarious. And he's just sitting there like, everything all right? Yeah. Well, we know that Clark is aging. It is because of the heart. Clark is aging. He got a little salt and pepper going on. But that's when we jump into episode 7, because in episode 7 it seems like Clark is back at full strength suddenly, like his hearing's working and everything. So are we getting back like full strength Clark, or is stuff still different? That was my one question. But let's get this other stuff out the way first. Cal and Chrissy are looking for a new home because staying in a studio apartment and about to have a baby is not going to work. Chrissy wants to sell her shares of the Smallville Gazette. She kind of catches Lois off guard. Lois is initially upset, but she gets it. You have to do what you have to do. Cal is also selling his grill, trying to make a little bit of money. Selling the Gazette initially does not work out because she found out that it is a shell company for Luther, and she doesn't want to do anything to help Luther, basically move into this town and keep coming after Lois. She doesn't want to help with that. And just selling a grill by itself was not going to be enough money, Cal. It's a nice notion to do because you have a kid coming. You have 2 other children and one's going to study abroad. You want to help with that as well. So, I mean, I get it. And in this episode, this is how you do Cal and Chrissy stuff. This is how you handle them. I loved the way that they handled Kyle and Chrissy in this episode. I wish they would have did this in the episode prior that they showed up in the episode with the wedding. This is the type of story you tell with side characters. And it weaved into the main story because we see when the boys are out, this whole episode, Clark is trying to put the genie back in the bottle, as he says, trying to convince people that that he's not Superman, trying to convince them, even though they clearly, Clark, they saw you die. It's impossible. They saw you die. They saw the family's reaction. People aren't stupid. Like they're not stupid. So we know that, Denise knows. The boys tell him that Candace does know. They tell him that Coach Gaines knows as well. And his scene with Coach Gaines was freaking hilarious. He's like, I think I sprained something. I don't know what it is. Go get a doctor. Coach Gaines walked away. He's just like, yeah. Tyler Hoechlin is really killing it as Clark Kent and Superman. He has been since 2016 when he was first cast. And Supergirl, he's been a phenomenal Superman. I hate we have to see him pass on this mantle, but that's what happens in roles like these. But this episode solidified it for me. He is freaking amazing, and I am going to miss him in this role. He will forever be my Superman. I'm sorry. Tyler Hoechlin will always be Clark Kent for me. He was born for this role. I have to say he was born for this role. And even the haters who didn't want to see him in this role are beginning to see that he's doing a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. On the CW of all things, he's doing a phenomenal job. But so we jump back into that. We see that Clark has to go around and basically pretend like he's back at the grocery store, and he sees that a plane is going down. Now I found it hilarious that they still decided to fly a plane that had a faulty engine that was due to be taken out of commission a month later, but you knew it had issues, so you still flew it anyway. I laughed out loud at that. I said that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But Denise is looking at him like, it's okay if you have to go, like basically with her eyes, and he's just like, I left my wallet in the car. So he goes outside. We see the classic shirt rip. We got 5 shirt rips in this episode. 5. Now, rightfully so, like 2 of them were from season 1. 2 of them were from season 1. One from the pilot and one from later on that season. But it was great to see it. I love seeing that. I wish we can get that on a poster. WB, CW, whoever I have to talk to, Next Star, you cheap bastards. Whoever I have to talk to, can we get a shirt rip poster with just Tyler Hoechlin? I need that in my life. Like the classic shirt rip, I need to see that. I need to see that on this wall. I need that poster on this wall. It can replace this Barry Allen. I just need that. Like I need it bad. I really need it bad. But he runs out. He goes save the plane, and he's back. And she's like, "Oh, you're back already?" And Clark said, "Yeah, I just went to the car." Clark, she's not dumb, bro. And you are gaslighting people. But that's when we get into the whole thing with what Kyle comes in, because the boys are out at the movies, just hanging out with their friends, and then Timmy. They could have just called the boy Tim or Timothy. Timmy shows up and says, John, you ruined my life, yada, 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 with the football team. And my whole thing was, dude, you're a sophomore in high school. they're not really going to start looking at you till you're close to your senior year anyway. And if you suck, you just suck, which is what Jordan basically told him, because he was not lying. John did not have powers when he was the quarterback. John did not have powers when he was team captain. Of course, he did take those drugs for those, few episodes, but that was like the second season. This the first season when John was like the quarterback. He did not have powers. He was not Superboy, so he was not lying. But Tim was convinced, and we later on know why, because when they go meet with Tim and his mom, he says, "I was there that night in Town Square. I saw when Superman died, and I saw Jordan fly away." And that made them sit back and be like, "Dang, like you can't keep lying to them. You can't keep gaslighting these people." And that's what you're basically doing. Like, even Timothy's mom was like, "Timmy, are you taking drugs again?" I laughed out loud at that. I'm sorry, that was funny. I shouldn't have laughed at it, but it was funny. It was really funny because it's like, just dang, mom, you just accused me of drugs again. But he basically says, "You know what? Whatever. I don't care. I'm going to my room. You can keep living this lie." And you can tell that got to all of them. That got to all of them. And rightfully so. Majority of the town does know whoever was there that night. They're just not gossiping to each other. And I respect that. So fast forward again. Clark is out with Clark and Lois are out with Chrissy and Kyle at a dinner. The boys are at home, just hanging out, chilling. Also, shout out to Killer Instinct. The boys have been playing a lot of that this season. In the first season, they were playing Injustice as well. So, yeah, I like to see real life video games in our TV shows. I think that's really, really cool. So they're out eating, and Pergandy, Candace's dad shows up, and he's like, "Oh, so you just been lying to everybody this whole time?" Come to find out, he was cellmates with Luther, and Luther told him, because he knew Luther had um he knew that Pergandy, I believe that's the last name. If I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry. He knew that Pergandy had a axe to grind with Clark. So he's in there, he's accusing him, and they're trying to, like, Kyle's trying to defuse the situation as well. And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, but Kent's not Superman. I've known Kent all my life." He's trying to just defuse the situation because he has sworn to protect the secret as well. He's sworn to protect that secret. They're cool now. So he's sworn to protect that secret. So he's doing his part, but Clark's like, I got it. And, he pulls a gun out on him. And he says, "I want to see how bulletproof you really are, yada, yada, yada." He pulls the trigger. We go into slow motion. The waitress behind Clark. Oh, that was funny. I'm rightfully so. Like, dude just pulled a gun out in a diner and pulled the trigger. So in that moment, time slows down. Clark looks over at Lois and just does the shirt rip again. And when time goes back to normal, he's standing there in a suit, and Pergandy's just like, "It's true. It's you." Like, this whole time. Kyle goes and grabs him and say, "We're gonna take a trip down to the sheriff." He was in that much shock that he let Kyle hem him up again, and that's what you were mad about that Clark did to you in the diner just last season. So I mean, also, that harking back to one of the greatest scenes in Superman and Lois, when Clark basically showed him what it was. Like, you don't go around hitting on kids, and he gave him the business in that diner. I still have that clip saved on this computer to this day. So yeah. So the secret's out. He tells them in the diner, "I'm sorry I've been lying to you for so long, but I had to." Everybody's just standing there like in shock and awe. Some people aren't shocked because some people already knew, but yes, the secret is out. So he goes home, he talks to the family. He says, if we do this, if we're gonna stop keeping this a secret, then this has to be a family decision, because this will not be easy. Lex is gonna keep sending people, but like at the end of the day, it's either tell people or keep gaslighting them, and you can't keep gaslighting people that you call your friends, especially if they already know. And that's exactly what he explained when they called Janet Olsen to do the exclusive. And when they called Janet, I was so excited because we saw in this episode the greatest flashbacks, because Jimmy Olsen was finally introduced. And what we got to know about this version of Jimmy Olsen is he was not Superman's best pal. He was not Clark Kent's best pal. Clark was always kept his defenses up in this universe, never wanted to really do too much or interact with anybody too much because he had to protect his secret. Rightfully so. I completely understand it. Jimmy figured it out though. Jimmy figured it out. He called Clark out on it. He said, "You could just tell me the truth. Are you Superman? You disappeared. Every time we had a game that you were supposed to be at, you were a no show. And at the same time the game was going on, Superman was making these saves. Anybody could have put two and two together, but yeah. So I mean, eh, the last time he just didn't have any Superman stuff. He just missed the game on purpose, and Jimmy was like, you know what? It's cool. It's cool. We don't. I guess we aren't really that close of friends. And Lois was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm really not. It's just like this is how it always is." And rightfully so. That's how it has always been for Clark in this universe, keeping people at arm's length. I mean, he left Smallville when he was young. He left Lana behind. All his friends, Pete, all of them, he left them behind to go train in the fortress. So, he didn't come back until super late in life. When he came back, he tried to find Lana. Lana was already taken by Kyle, so he went straight to Metropolis, met Lois, and boom, that's when his life really started as Superman. So yeah, it was good to see, like, at the end of this episode, he does reconcile with Jimmy. They meet, they catch up, and that was such a wholesome scene. He's also doing it without the glasses. The last scene when he's just standing in the mirror and he's just like he's about to put the glasses on. He puts them down. You no longer need it because you don't have to hide. And in that interview, it really, like, it brought tears to my eyes to just hear him talk about, his life, why he made the decisions that he did, and why he's deciding now to come out because, well, I died, and a lot of people in town saw that, and basically, I can't keep gaslighting them. I can't keep lying to them. They saw what they saw. It's no way to explain what they saw. And I don't fault I don't fault the family for what they did. Lana tried to help and get people off the street, but they already saw what they saw, so I don't fault them. Lois, John, and Jordan, they all reacted the way anybody would react to their husband and father being mortally wounded and dropped on the ground dead in front of you. They reacted any way anybody can. I don't care if your dad is Superman, Batman, Flash. I don't care if your dad is a regular guy. You're going to react that way. So it was no way to keep that secret with people on the street. It was no way to keep it. So they handled this the best way they could. I think this is a way that you go out on top with a show, because now that the identity is out, Lex has nothing to hold over the family. Lex will keep sending people, but as we see for next week, he's gonna try to basically debate Lois in a court of public opinion. And I can't wait to see how that plays out. But these past two episodes have been nothing but 10 out of 10s for me. They've been freaking amazing. Like I said, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below about the past two episodes. Three more episodes, guys, and we are done with Superman and Lois. This show has been a ride for the past 3 years. I'm really excited to see how they end this. But if you are new here, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this episode, and I will catch you all next time.